What's up, guys? It's Peak Octane back with another episode of the D105 College Football Mod. As always, check the link down in the description for the D105 page. Today we have the 4 games for the round of 32 in the Southern region. Let's roll the intro. With our first game of the day, we have IU and LSU. Big Ten versus SEC. LSU moving down the field first, and they strike to get into the end zone for a touchdown. They will take a 7-0 lead early in this game. IU put some points on the board themselves, and they have cut this lead down to 4 points in the second quarter. IU adding another field goal, and they cut this lead to 1 point. As we are nearing the end of the first half, LSU has gotten down the field, and Joe Burrow dives into the end zone for a touchdown. This will give LSU a 14-6 lead. IU, with almost no time left in the second half, they get a touchdown. Oh my goodness. That was an absolutely huge play for IU to get into the end zone before the half. And now, after receiving the kickoff in the second half, IU is moving again, and he slips by the defense for a touchdown. This gives IU their first lead of the game as they take a 19-14 lead. They do not get the 2-point conversion, so their lead will remain at 5. But LSU gets a huge play to their wide receiver. That is going to be a touchdown for LSU as they take the lead again. And to add on to that, they find Jamar Chase in the end zone for yet another touchdown for LSU. And they now have an 8-point lead near the end of the fourth quarter. IU gets in. They are a 2-point conversion away from tying this game. Can they get into the end zone? No, they cannot. They are stopped short, and this will mean they need the ball again. However, LSU is able to run out the clock, and that will give LSU a 27-25 victory behind Joe Burrow's 3 touchdowns. Joe Burrow really had 4 because you also have to add in his rushing touchdown, so he carries the number 1 seed LSU past IU to move on to the Sweet 16. With our next game, we have Memphis and Michigan. Memphis moving down the field first, and they get into the end zone for a touchdown. They open up the scoring in this game, and it will be a 7-0 lead in the first quarter for Memphis. Michigan trying to get a response in, and they find the fullback for a touchdown. This will tie the game at 7 points. Memphis trying to get another score on the board in the second quarter, but instead they throw an interception. This will give Michigan the ball, and they are looking to really get their offense going again and take the lead in this game. And they get a huge 53-yarder to Peoples-Jones, and Michigan will take that and punch it into the end zone for a touchdown and the 7-point lead. Michigan finds the end zone yet again, and they have a 21-7 lead just before halftime, and that will be the halftime score. And in the third quarter, Michigan finds the end zone again off the screen, and they now have a 3-possession lead over Memphis. Memphis trying to get back into this game in the fourth quarter. It is 4th down, and they get sacked. That is going to be a turnover on downs, and Michigan will take over again. Memphis desperately needing some offense. Again on 4th down, they turn the ball over, and Michigan will continue to run out the clock. But Michigan makes a mistake, and they fumble the ball with 3.5 to go, giving Memphis another opportunity to get back into this game. However, They throw an interception. This is a turnover, and this is the second interception for Hawkins. And with less than 2 minutes to go, Michigan has an opportunity to put Memphis away, and they do so. They take the knee to run out the clock, and this will be a 28-7 victory for the Wolverines, and Michigan takes down the number 5 seed to move on to the Sweet 16. Next up, we have USC and Florida. USC moving down the field. They get an awkward bounce off the wide receiver's hands, and it is picked off by Florida. That is not the way USC wanted to end their first possession of the game, and Florida takes advantage, and they are into the end zone for a touchdown in the early 7-0 lead over the Trojans. Florida has moved down the field again, down to the 3-yard line, and they find the wide receiver in the end zone for a touchdown, and that is going to be a 2-score lead for the Gators. We move on, and we are in the second quarter. USC somehow fumbles it, and it somehow stays in bounds, and it is recovered by Florida. That is painful to see for the Trojans, and Florida will take advantage of the turnover, and they find Tony in the end zone once again, and that is going to be a 3-score lead for the Gators heading near the end of the first half. USC did not want to be shut out in the first half, and they will get a field goal as time expires, and we have a 21-3 lead at halftime for Florida. And now, moving on to the second half, Florida gets a rushing touchdown and a 25-point lead. USC, Keaton Slovis, he finds the end zone, diving in for the touchdown, and that will be a 28-10 lead for Florida. Florida trying to extend their lead, but they make the critical mistake of fumbling the ball. Can this turn the tide for USC as they have 4.5 minutes to score 18 points? They cannot. They eventually give the ball back to Florida, and Florida runs out the clock. And just like that, Florida takes the 28. Just like that, Florida takes the 28-10 victory, and they will move on to the Sweet 16. With our next game, we have Baylor and Texas A&M, the 2 versus 7 seed, and these teams will be fighting for their spot to play against Florida in the Sweet 16, and Baylor finds the end zone first, and that will give them the first points of this game, as well as they take a 7-0 lead over the Aggies. And now adding on to it in the second quarter, Baylor gets a field goal and a 10-0 lead. Texas A&M responds not long after, and they find the end zone, and they have cut this lead to 3 points. Just a few plays later, Baylor finds the end zone for a touchdown. Denzel Mims, the 35-yarder, to extend the lead back to double digits. Baylor trying to make something happen to extend their lead further before the half, and they fumble it. This will give Texas A&M tremendous field position right before the end of the first half. A&M trying to take advantage, but they throw an interception. That is the last thing that Texas A&M needed to get back into this game. However, Baylor moving the ball, they throw an interception, and to make it worse, it is returned for a touchdown. So it ends up working out for Texas A&M after all, as they find the end zone. That will cut the lead to 3 points. And now, as time expires in the first half, Baylor adds a field goal, and that will be a 20-14 score at halftime. Moving into the second half, Baylor picks the ball off, and they will get tremendous field position against Texas A&M. They can make this a 2-score game once again. However, Baylor has to settle for the field goal, and this will be just a 9-point lead in the second half for Baylor. A&M moving down the field, and they fumble it in the red zone. That turnover is going to hurt. That is an opportunity lost for Texas A&M. But on their next possession, they get a huge run from their running back, and he gets them all the way to the 11-yard line. Is this the spark that they need to make this comeback? A&M finds the end zone with that momentum, and they are going to cut this lead to just 2 points. A&M has moved down the field again. Kellen Mond rolls out and he finds the end zone for the touchdown. This gives Texas A&M their first lead of the game as they lead 28-23. Baylor trying to make something happen in the final 2 minutes. They throw an interception, and A&M is going to return this inside the 20-yard line with a minute and 5 to go. A&M will try and run out the clock, but with Baylor's timeouts, they will settle for the field goal, and they now have an 8-point lead, and Baylor runs out of time, and they cannot get a final play in, and that is how this game will end. The number 2 seed falling down, and A&M will move on to play Florida in the Sweet 16. This is a huge win for the Aggies as they have finally broken through the ceiling, and they have a true shot at making a deep run in this tournament now. Looking at the bracket, we have LSU having beaten IU and Michigan having played Memphis. LSU and Michigan will face off in the Sweet 16. On the other side, we have USC losing to Florida and Texas A&M finding their way past Baylor, and we will have Florida and Texas A&M in the Sweet 16 with all 4 teams mentioned looking to play for their spot in the Elite 8 in the championship of the Southern region. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and check out all the links down below, including my Twitch channel. Thanks, and bye.